LGBTQIA people have always existed in classical music, but I think rarely has our difference been welcomed, embraced, or even celebrated until pretty recently. Hi, my name is Jules Biber, and I am a cellist and teacher. I'm an adjunct assistant professor in the music department at Hunter College. CUNY has been a pretty steady part of my life for the past number of years. I got my DMA, my doctorate in musical arts, essentially the equivalent of a PhD, at the Grad Center. I started to teach at various campuses. I started at City College and ended up at Hunter, where I teach chamber music. I teach history, I've taught theory, I teach some private lessons. Chamber music is essentially like a conversation among friends. The name chamber music implies that it's played in a small space. So it's essentially an ensemble that can fit in a living room. And it's existed in classical music from very early on in its history. Growing up in the classical music world, I had a very standard sort of education in classical music. I grew up outside of Boston. My dad listened to music a lot when I was a kid, and he was very encouraging of me to start an instrument. I had been rummaging through the attic as a kid, and there was this strange looking large instrument up there that I was very fascinated by. And I asked my dad what it was. He said it was a cello. And I said, oh, me and my cello, we've been buddies for a really, really long time. It's taken me on adventures. It's taken me around the world. I was really very much conservatory trained. This very kind of old trajectory of learning and playing. You study with someone who's a master at what they do, and you emulate them, and you follow in that same sort of path, right? It can be quite limiting in some ways. One of the things, as I sort of realized that I was gay, I was queer, I started to feel that sense of otherness and difference, even from the simplest kinds of things as, dress codes for concerts. It's like women wear skirts, men wear pants. It's this very gendered kind of world that still exists. The general idea behind Chamber Queer is that we want to program queer artists and composers, and we want to highlight historically underrepresented queer figures in classical music and really create an inclusive and intersectional space for everybody. That means performers and audiences alike. Chamber Queer doesn't have a physical location, at least right now. The Chamber Queer founders work mostly through email. We have meetings. That's how we sort of get things done. We perform in a variety of spaces, they run the gamut. So we play in traditional concert halls, we play in bars, we play on the sidewalk. Especially during COVID, we've been doing a lot of outdoor concerts. We play primarily in Brooklyn and Manhattan. We did some shows through the Open Streets Project, which was a city-run program that paired artists with locations around the city to perform. I feel the happiest and the most fulfilled when I have a happy balance between performing and teaching. The most learning that I do as a performer and as learning as a person is through my teaching, right? So I learn a lot from my students. Hopefully my students learn a lot from me. I think the future is bright for classical queer musicians. And, we just want to carry on the conversation that's sort of starting to happen all over the arts right now, and embracing difference, embracing diversity. Doing all these sort of projects, Chamber Queer, and just sort of my own personal endeavors, it makes me feel great. I love helping people feel safe and comfortable, because I think I've had my share of experience feeling uncomfortable in certain spaces and environments. This place and these people embrace me for exactly who I am. I don't need to change myself to engage with this event or this performance. I can be exactly who I am. So we have a number of upcoming events. Our main sort of flagship event every year is our Pride Festival in June. This year it's going to be taking place over 3 days, June 10th through 12th, with a concert at National Sawdust on the 10th and also the 12th in the evening. And on that Saturday in between, the 11th, we're going to have a daytime show at Branded Saloon in Brooklyn. We'll also be hosting a number of community events. which we do throughout the year as well. Some of them are online, some of them are in person. My goal and Chamber Queer's goal is to just make everyone feel welcome, and in our specific world, classical music, there's a lot of work to be done. We'll continue to create space and concerts and programming that promote the work of queer artists. And hopefully, people, other organizations, and will follow suit.